Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan back with another monthly update. Slightly a little bit late in putting this video out, but this is movie pickups update for the month of September 2021. And in this update I have a few movie CD soundtracks I picked up and Blu-rays and 4K titles that I picked up. And before we get to the update, it's shout out time, and it's a new channel that I've been watching. This guy from the Netherlands goes by the name of Ramon. He's known as the Dutch film buff. Fantastic collection that he has, and I'm currently going through his older videos to his more recent videos, which I will catch up. Yeah, great collector. He collects mainly VHS, DVDs and Blu-rays, and I like the way he does his shelf by shelf videos where he has his videos in their decades. A true genuine movie fan, and he does talk about movies in his videos, which is kind of a thing that a lot of movie fans don't do, or collectors do, in their videos. But yeah, please check out Ramon, the Dutch film buff. I'm sure his channel will grow from strength to strength. Definitely deserves more subscribers, guys. So please, before you check out my video, go over to his channel, give his channel a sub, and check out the great content that he puts on his channel, the Dutch film buff. The link of his channel will be down below in the description box. So to what I picked up. So we'll start off with some CD soundtracks, and yeah, you know that I am Eastwood for Life fan, but I do have the movie soundtrack, but this is a more updated CD, and it's an Italian edition of A Fistful of Dollars, the Ennio Morricone soundtrack of this classic spaghetti western movie, put out by company GDM. And these are limited editions, and you can pick these up on Amazon Germany. And I have been playing this in the car, and you do get like a little booklet with the CD, which is a nice touch. Classic movie soundtrack, and I do like that, where they have these movie posters from many countries worldwide. From the maestro Ennio Morricone. And did pick up another CD soundtrack, Day of Anger, the movie starring Giuliano Gemma and Lee Van Cleef. And yep, an Italian edition from the same company, GDM, and this one's actually limited to 500 copies. One of my favourite Lee Van Cleef movies. And again, this one does come with the booklet, limited, and ordered this one from Amazon Germany also. Great spaghetti western movie from 1967, with some great shots from the movie and some posters. Probably my favourite spaghetti western starring Giuliano Gemma. Day of Anger. And on to the Blu-rays now, and this was sent to us in a trade package from my good buddy The Last Shoegazer. Nick, the more recent Wild East release, and this is Arizona Cult, starring Giuliano Gemma, one of his more popular spaghetti western movies. This one, Arizona Cult, and this one is volume number 66, and this is kind of like a re-release. They had previously released this movie on DVD, but yeah, great transfer this one of Arizona Cult. On to some movies from the 1970s, and some of these were shown in a trade package video from my good buddy Jace from Down Under, and these are some in-print titles. This is The Gambler, starring James Caan, not the remake, which starred Mark Wahlberg. A James Caan movie that I haven't seen. This one, always liked his movies in the 70s, like The Godfather and Thief. And yeah, this is The Gambler, the imprint release. Another imprint release from a 1970s movie. This is Black Sunday, a movie that sounds familiar. It does have a great cast: Robert Shaw and Bruce Dern, from the director John Frankenheimer, who done Ronin, 52 Pickup, as well as the French Connection sequel, part 2. And also a few Burt Lancaster movies, The Birdman of Alcatraz, and also The Train. But yeah, this one does sound familiar. Possibly a movie I've seen bits of. A fine release from imprint. The next movie is a World War II movie, a Sam Peckinpah movie, not one of his classics. This is Cross of Iron, starring James Coburn, who actually made a few movies with Sam Peckinpah. He starred in Major Dundee, as well as Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Yeah, this was a movie that Sam Peckinpah didn't really care for, but I still wanted to pick this one up. Cross of Iron. The next three movies are three Roger Moore movies. Yeah, one of my favourite James Bond. He was. And this one is Gold. Always used to be on UK TV back in the day. Always remember watching this one as a young teen. This is Gold, where I think this was the movie he made just after his first Bond movie, Live and Let Die. This one was, I think, 1973 or 1974. Directed by Peter Hunt, who directed one of the best James Bond movies, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, with George Lazenby. And this one, a South African gold mine manager. He kind of discovers a plot by these mine owners and London bankers, where they come up with this plan of flooding the mines to increase the price of gold. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this one. Actually, the next movie is one that I don't think I have seen. It's the Kino Lorber US release of Street People, starring Roger Moore and Stacy Keach. This is a Euro crime movie where Roger Moore and Stacy Keach, they have to go after a missing load of heroin that's wanted from a mafia boss. But this one, mid-70s, yeah, 1976. I checked out the trailer of this one. It looks a okay movie. Did read up about it that Roger Moore and Stacy Keach, didn't quite understand the making of this movie, and when it was complete, they still didn't understand the meaning of this movie, Street People, a Eurocrime movie with Roger Moore and Stacy Keach. And the next one is also another movie, a Roger Moore movie that was always shown on UK TV quite a lot. This is North Sea Hijack from 1980. Nice 88 films release. Not the sort of film you'd expect to be released on their label. Terrorists take over a oil rig and they threaten to blow them up unless their demands are met. And Anthony Perkins, he plays the main terrorist. Also in this movie, James Mason is also in the movie. Does come with a very nice booklet, and actually the movie was directed by the same director who directed The Wild Geese and The Sea Wolves with Roger Moore. Anthony Perkins always plays a great villain, who actually died, I think it was in his early 60s, Anthony Perkins, who died. And Roger Moore, he heads the team of soldiers who go in to stop this, the terrorists from carrying on their threat. But yeah, nice release from 88 Films, North Sea Hijack. With the slipcover still available. Roger Moore movie, one of his better movies outside the James Bond franchise. And more in print titles from that package from Jace. The Dead Zone. I wanted to pick this one up more than the Scream Factory Edition because of the old artwork. That is the shot that I was always familiar with. One of my favourite Stephen King novels that got turned into a movie. Christopher Walken plays a teacher who comes out of a car accident coma, only to discover that he has psychic powers where he reads the future. Yeah, very good movie, directed by David Cronenberg. And more from the 80s. This is the Michael Cimino movie, the director of The Deer Hunter. This is Year of the Dragon, starring Mickey Rourke, a New York cop. He tries to crack down organised crime in Chinatown between the mafia bosses and the triads. Yeah, one of my favourite Mickey Rourke movies, this one, Year of the Dragon. And next one is At Close Range, starring Sean Penn and Christopher Walken. A son meets up with his criminal father. Actually, this is one that I always wanted to check out in the 80s, but always kind of skipped me by. I mean, two fine actors, and what a great pairing in a movie in At Close Range. And still in the 80s, late 80s, this one, The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren as the vigilante assassin Frank Castle. And this is like the unrated cut. As far as I know, I think probably the German release is also a unrated cut also. And yeah, this is my preferred movie of The Punisher, even though I didn't mind the 2004 one with Thomas Jane and John Travolta, which I probably might pick that one up. But yeah, it looks kind of funny with Dolph Lundgren, who dyed his hair for the role and for this movie, The Punisher. and also Lou Gossett Jr. is in this one. So yeah, this is the Australian release from Umbrella. The next few movies were movies from the trade package from the last shoegazer, Nick, which I also did a video of, and as a freebie he sent me the first two Bill and Ted movies. The first one from the late 1980s, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journeys. Yeah, silly fun but dumb fun, entertaining movies. I always enjoyed watching these two movies with Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves. I do need to probably pick up the third one, Bill and Ted Face the Music, which amazingly enough they made I think it was near 30 years after the second movie, and probably will do a binge watch of these movies. The first two I have seen. I think the second one was my favourite one, and this is the American Shout double feature release. And he also picked me up this requested title of California, starring Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis. Not a massive fan of Brad Pitt, but this is the Shout Select release. Do get two editions. A journalist duo. They kind of go on a cross-country tour of serial killer sites for research of a new book, and the journalists are actually unaware that the two companions that they've gone with them are actually, one of them is actually a serial killer. Yeah, very good movie this one, and I did like the pairing of these two, Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis. Very similar to Badlands and Natural Born Killers, but very good movie this one. A kind of psychological thriller, California. And the next one is Michael Mann's Miami Vice movie, not the TV series, and this is the US edition of the movie. This is the unrated director's cut, which is actually 7 minutes longer than the UK edition. And actually, I always thought this movie was a little bit underrated. Yeah, it did get a lot of bad criticism. I think mainly because it didn't sort of look like the TV series, but it was a lot darker and more kind of an underground story. There was a lot of night scenes. Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell as Crockett and Tubbs. And some John Carpenter movies in this update. There's a few missing from my John Carpenter collection. This one is the remake, A Village of the Damned. This one is mid-90s. I actually haven't seen this one. I'm probably going to be picking up the original one, which I haven't seen for years. The sci-fi classic original from the 1960s. But this one stars a good cast. It does star Christopher Reeve, Kirstie Alley, and also Mark Hamill. And yeah, this is like the John Carpenter remake. And the other John Carpenter movie is, I think it's his last movie, The Ward, from 2010. Just a shame that he doesn't make movies anymore. John Carpenter, one of my favourite directors in my top 10 list of favourite directors of all time. The next three movies are movies from one of the best and versatile actors out there in the business. We are talking about Tom Hanks, and this is one of his early movies from the 80s, Bachelor Party. A group of friends, they throw like the ultimate bachelor party, and in the 80s, Tom Hanks, this was the original VHS cover that I remembered back in the day, and this movie Bachelor Party was a very popular VHS release. And yeah, in the 80s, Tom Hanks was mainly a comedy actor. He'd done such hits like Splash, The Money Pit, Big, and The Burbs. But then into the 90s, who would have thought that he would have become a more serious actor in some of the big films in the 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, this is Bachelor Party. Not seen this one for a long time, but I always remembered enjoying this kind of sex comedy movie. And the last Blu-ray is Castaway, the Robert Zemeckis movie. The FedEx engineer who survives a plane crash, and then he's gets stranded on a deserted island. From the director of the Back to the Future movies, Robert Zemeckis. Always enjoyed this movie, Castaway. A great Tom Hanks movie, I should say. On to the 4K titles now, and the last Tom Cruise movie, the Steven Spielberg World War II classic, Saving Private Ryan, one of the greatest war movies ever made. Yeah, super happy to pick up this one in this kind of cartridge steel book release from Zavvi. Epic war movie, this one. We'll take a look inside. There are the discs, and we'll have a look at the back of the steelbook. This is what you get in the back of the steelbook. Great movie, this one, about the army captain and his squad. They go looking for a missing soldier, a missing brother, whose other three brothers have been killed in action. Great war movie, this one. Also starring Edward Burns, Matt Damon, Tom Sizemore, and also a young Vin Diesel in this movie. And one of the greatest opening scenes to a movie in Saving Private Ryan, a blockbuster hit, earning just short of $500 million worldwide at the box office. So glad to add that to the collection. And the final few 4K titles that I picked up. The 4K Arrow Video edition of Django. The Sergio Corbucci Spaghetti Western Classic starring Franco Nero. Do have the Blu-ray release of this one, which is signed by Franco Nero. Great edition of a great cult movie, which I showed in detail in one of the previous videos. And the Thing Universal Collector's Edition, 4K and Blu-ray edition, which I did do a separate video of this, which I suspect a lot of you guys did pick up. And I didn't realise when I done that unboxing that the prequel to The Thing was actually added in this great set. One of the releases of the year, this John Carpenter classic. And the last 4K title is actually a movie that I haven't watched fully. The Fifth Element, starring Bruce Willis. Actually, this is a movie that I actually walked out of the cinema didn't sort of enjoy watching and wasn't in the right mood. Sci-fi movies, I do need to be in the right mood to watch, I've got to be honest. But going to give this one another go. Pick this one up in my local CX store. Bruce Willis with Gary Oldman and Ian Holm. So yeah, The Fifth Element. We'll give this one a rewatch and make sure that I get through this sci-fi movie. And I'm hearing the transfer is a high quality transfer movie, as I'm almost on the verge of picking up my 4K TV and going fully 4K. So guys, there is all the movie pickups in the month of September. Let us know on your thoughts. Be good to hear from all you guys. So guys, till the next video, stay healthy and well, and as always, keep on collecting, take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.